Hey everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're going to be doing part 3 of my 3D printing adventure. If you saw the other parts, you kind of know where we are. And today we're actually going to be doing some 3D printing, so this is going to be interesting to film because I am not a 3D printing expert by any means, nor do I pretend to be. There are plenty of professional 3D printer YouTube videos out there if you want a more in-depth look. But I thought for the purposes of wargaming, miniature gaming, and collecting, what we're doing today might be interesting to you guys. Alright, so I've got my Elegoo Mars 3D printer, which you guys might have seen in previous videos. And then I've got some of the supplies we're going to need to do our 3D printing today. So kind of go over what we have. We have paper towels. You need lots of paper towels. It's always good in case you have an accident or need to clean up or wipe up. I use shop towels, but whatever, paper towels are good. You're going to need gloves, because these are toxic chemicals we're going to be playing with. Some kind of microfiber is good for cleaning. Snippers for if there's any kind of frame or support on our 3D model, we need to clip those off. I have some of this 3-in-1 lubricant for cleaning the vat or tub that contains the resin. If it gets dirty or we have a failed print, this also can help remove the print from the build plate. We have filters. These are to if we need to empty the resin vat. We can do that and strain out if there's any little pieces of plastic or resin that has been cured. We can strain those out. I've got a tub full of Simple Green, which is just a cleaning, a cleaning solution that's green. I use that to clean the resin before I put it outside to cure. I've got a old toothbrush that we use for scrubbing the models. We have some spatulas. This is to clear the bottom of the resin reservoir or vat because it's very fragile. You don't want to use metal there, and the metal one is used for helping remove the 3D models from the build plate. And we'll talk about what all that stuff is in the machine next. Oh, perhaps the most important thing we need is resin. So here I have water washable photopolymer resin, and this is what I use. This is from Elegoo as well, and it's what I've been using for my 3D prints. I haven't tried any others. This was just recommended on a couple of the forums I read, plus it's the same company, so I figured it's pretty good. Alright, let's take a look at the 3D printer and the parts that we're going to have to be familiar with. Alright, with the lid off, we have just a couple of important parts. We have the control panel here. It's not currently powered on, so we can't see anything. This is our resin vat or reservoir, and we're going to fill that with the liquid resin. And this just has some thumb screws so we can pull it in and out quite easily. This is an LCD screen on the bottom, and it looks through the clear bottom of this vat, and what lights up here cures in the bottom of the vat, and that's what builds up your layers. So then that's in place there. Then here we have, this is the build plate that we were talking about earlier. So the build plate basically is on a track that dunks itself and pulls up over and over again. So really you have a big screw here, and that's our build plate. So that's where our models are going to show up as they go on. So that's the major parts of the 3D printer that you need to know about. So now let's go ahead and fill it up and get started with our 3D printing. Alright, we shook up our 3D resin. We made sure it was well mixed. So I stood here shaking it for like a minute to make sure everything would be good, and then you could see I've poured the resin into the vat. So this is potentially where the mess can begin if you're not careful. So normally I take that vat out, set it down on something soft like this paper towel so that it doesn't scratch or damage the bottom, and then I pour it in and then place it. So you want to be careful and wear gloves during that part of the process. Alright, so I have my USB drive. This has my my sliced 3D model on here, and I'm going to try to, hopefully I showed you a video with the new models I put on there. I just put a bunch of 15mm infantry on one stand. That way it doesn't take too long for this thing to print 15mm infantry, and you can kind of see what the results will look like. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug this in. On the back of the machine, there's just a USB slot right there. And then coming back around to the front, we have our USB card plugged in. Now it's time to print. So we have this handy print button here, which basically opens up the menu for the USB stick that we put in. We select our AmGas 15mm infantry here, and we hit the start button. As you can see, the build plate's going to go and dunk itself all the way to the bottom of that vat. The LCD is going to come on, which we can't really see, and the parts that are illuminated on the LCD screen are the parts that are going to get hardened onto the build plate. So there you go, it's in all the way. And if we look down here, we see what's appearing on the LCD screen. Well, it looks like the print job is done. It looks like we do have some guys there, so what we're going to do is use this handy little tool so that the trash can drip off, the excess can drip off the tray, and then we can clean it up and see what we get. Well, the print job is done, and I've gone ahead and used this tool to hold the build plate at an angle so kind of the excess resin can just drip back into the vat. Looking at it, it looks like we were successful. I see maybe 1 or 2 fails, which is a little disappointing. That unfortunately means I'm probably going to have to clear out the resin vat there that you see before doing another run. And that's because if something fails, like that infantry figure we see missing right there, he's probably in some misshapen form down there in that vat. So what we'll do is, off camera, I'm going to take this off, rinse it off, and show you what we've got. Alright, I rinse these off and we can see what we've got here. Everything still needs to be cleaned. These guys need to go into the Simple Green bath to remove any more resin that's in there, and that's why these guys might not look super detailed yet, is because there's still a lot of the uncured resin attached to them. And it looks like we had just one failure, and that's too bad. As I mentioned earlier, that means we're going to have to clear out our resin tank, just in case any of that resin from that missing figure is down in there, because we will have a massive failure if we try to print something with hardened resin gunk floating in that tank. Alright, so what we're going to do then is we're going to use the metal. Basically, I don't know if I can do it with one hand, but we'll do this off camera and then show you. Alright, and now they're in the Simple Green. Basically, I'm going to put the lid on, kind of swirl it around, let them sit in there for a little while. Then I'll put the rubber gloves on, and we'll give them a scrub with the brush to make sure any of that liquid resin is still on there. Once that's done, we can cut them off the supports and then set them up for curing. Now, curing is an interesting process. That's what hardens this resin. Right now it's pretty soft, and it's still somewhat toxic in this, the way it is right now. So what we need to do is a UV source. Now, some people buy UV lights. I've yet to do that because I live in Arizona, and we have God's UV light, the OG UV light, if you will. And I've just cured stuff outside on my little turntable and haven't had any issues. So there you go. We're going to go ahead and put the lid, let those guys soak for a little bit. And then here we have a out of its bath, rinsed off. Now we just need to cut it off the frame. And with that we just use the snips, and you end up with something like this. I emptied out the vat here, and you can see that is stuck to the transparent bottom of this resin vat, and we're going to have to use some of our lubricant and our plastic spatula to try to get that out. And after all that hard work and cleanup, here is what we ended up with. There's probably still a little cleanup I need to do. I got to sand the bottoms of these bases, and I missed a few supports hidden here and there. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the quality. So let's grab one of these guys. See if we can get in and get him in focus. I know this isn't relevant to this series about 3D printing because we could use this for anything, but I know some people have mentioned that this particular range, the guys look a little short or squat. Personally, it doesn't bug me, but I can see the complaints there. So there's like a Soviet and winter gear. I think this one is supposed to be a female sniper or partisan, but you can kind of see there's a couple of Marines thrown in there. Oh yeah, here's the guy I missed a support under his rifle. Comparing it to a Flames of War miniature, let's see if we can go top down here, find someone in a similar pose. We can see that this particular model is slightly shorter than this guy, which technically with 3D printing that's not that big a deal because you can always make it a little bit bigger. You know, maybe if you really want it to be the same exact size as a Flames of War miniature, maybe you increase it by 5%, something like that, maybe not even that much. I don't know. Or you put all those guys on one stand, no one's going to I'm sure no one's going to notice. So there you go. That's going to conclude this part of the 3D printing journey. Next part 4, I'm going to put some paint on these and then show you how they stack up to Battlefront miniatures as far as quality once they're painted. So you have that to look forward to. So there you go, guys. Thanks for this adventure. I really haven't shot a video like this before, so hopefully you like it. Please do let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you like our Flames of War content, please check us out at Facebook at All Miniatures Great and Small. You can also check out our Flames of War Patreon, where you can get access to exclusive Flames of War battle reports once a month. And here on YouTube, we always appreciate a like and subscribe. Please do click that bell to receive notification when we publish new content. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and keep on wargaming.